now is the state of the race. Quinnipiac out with 3 new battleground state polls, public polls. Some people are not fans of Quinnipiac. Let's show that, please. That's number 5. Okay, this is not exactly what I believe the private polling shows, but Pennsylvania, Harris up 3, Michigan, Trump up 3, Wisconsin, Trump up 2. Now, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that there's not a Democratic pollster, including people working for the Harris campaign, who would say that Pennsylvania is Harris up 3. And what they would all say is it's her worst of the blue wall states, okay? So here's some public polling. You're welcome to read all the public polls you want. I tend to not credit the public polling that much because it's often not correct, because the public polls done by media organizations and by academic groups, they're not as robust, okay? So I want to show you something that suggests that I'm not the only reporter who's hearing from Democrats who are worried. Are they worried because they're conditioned to be worried because of 16? Yeah, that's some of it. And they're outspending Trump. She's campaigning. And they're outspending Trump. She's campaigning. She's doing this social media, the new media stuff. She did her 60 Minutes interview. They want to be ahead now. And they know what their polls say. And their polls are not as good as the public polls for her. They haven't given up. I'm not writing them off by any means. Again, abortion, turnout, Trump ceiling, all could produce a Harris victory, and maybe a comfortable Harris victory. But there's concern because they see things getting in a direction. Where is it moving directionally? They don't like the direction it's moving in. That's all I'm reporting. I'm not reporting the race is over. Some people are mischaracterizing what I'm reporting. It's true again today. And what's happening is I'm hearing from Democrats who know her well, elected officials, donors, California strategists, who are saying she needs to be a warrior in these last few months. She needs to up her game. She needs to feel it. She needs to close strong. And they look at her performance on television yesterday, where it appears, as always, she's trying to not make mistakes, get through the interview without making mistakes, rather than really transforming the race and demonstrating to the undecided voters who we talked to on this program, she'll be a good steward of a good economy, fierce commander-in-chief, ready for the job. That's what they're worried about. They're worried that they're not in a good place to win 270 electoral votes, and they're worried that what she's doing at a performance level.
So, folks, that's Mark Halperin, who I happen to absolutely love his reporting, always have. I have some disagreements with him on some of his opinions, obviously, but that's fine. He and Sean Spicer and the rest on two-way. So what I like to basically say is that I really do agree with Mark on his assessment in terms of the Quinnipiac poll that came out that shows, Donald Trump up in Michigan, up in Wisconsin, but down in Pennsylvania. I mean, he's the strongest, I believe, in Pennsylvania. And then I believe it's Michigan. And then I think they're both the same. I think Wisconsin, he's going to win Wisconsin, I think, by 3-5. Would I be surprised or shocked if he wins it above 5? No. Michigan, I think he's going to take it. Probably it's going to be in that 1-3. It all depends upon what happens with Jill Stein now that she's being backed and been endorsed by the abandoned Harris movement, which was abandoned Biden before with Swami Shawant and Dr. Abdus Hassan Salam, I believe. And then obviously backing Jill Stein and Butch Ware. I really also think that in terms of this whole thing, Michigan really, I think, is the linchpin. I mean, Trump only needs to have 1 out of 3. But if I were to pick my state that I think that he's going to absolutely, be, a winner in, is going to be Michigan. There's no way with the Arab American vote going the direction of Jill Stein and towards Trump. Michigan, he's got 18% of the vote. Jill Stein's got 40%. And you've got Kamala Harris at 12. He's leading her by 6 points in Michigan, folks. In Michigan. And the Jill Stein movement is there, folks. It's not just some, It's not like a Cornel West or the Communist Party by Chase Oliver or whatever. This is a real live movement that is picking up steam because of everything that's happening with Israel and Palestine and Gaza, that whole thing. Now, the other thing I wanted, he was talking about where I just wanted to make sure, sometimes Mark, he's make this like wiggle room, reporting this thing that this is coming from the internal polling. Democrats are like down, they're really getting frantic, they're really getting nervous and everything. Make a freaking stand. I mean, report it. That's what I'm doing. I am making the stand that Trump's got 345 electoral votes. You can check that out on other video links to us. 344 to 193. Because I believe Trump is going to flip New Mexico. He's going to flip Minnesota. He's going to flip Virginia. He's going to flip New Hampshire and Nebraska too. I'm putting it out there. If he doesn't flip them, what do I care? But I'm not just saying I'm looking on the basis of the polls that are out there in terms of what's happening, in terms of this wave that's happening in every demographic that you take a look at. Folks, those in black votes, she was at 77% of the black vote. Trump's at 13%. That's 90% total. Where's the other 10% if you say they're undecided? Let's say even all the 10% blacks, undecided, go to Kamala Harris. That's 87. Clinton got 91% of the black vote. She lost. Biden got 92%. Barely won. Barely. Obama got 95, 96%. Cruised to victory. She's losing that. In terms of, she is losing in terms of the black vote. 1 in 5 black men, 1 in 4 black men under the age of 50 voting for Trump. In New York, there's going to be an overwhelming amount of black support. Then you've got the Hispanic vote. I said they're basically tied. The men, white men, are absolutely, he's in the double digits winning. Union households. Do you think that Kamala Harris is going to do as well as Clinton or Biden in the Rust Belt? Are you kidding me? These people know that those values of California, somebody from California, the left coast, they're not with it. And then finally, Mark's talking about that they wanted to go and close well. Well, the best closer in the whole world we know is Donald Trump. And they want Kamala Harris to go there and fight for it, and go out there for those undecided voters. Really? There's undecided voters on The View? On that idiot moron retard Howard Stern show? On Who's Your Daddy podcast? That idiot Stephen Colbert, that moron? On late night? That's the person? Those are the place that you're going for your undecided, non-committed, independent voters? That's just absolutely, she's making a media blitz. That are calling to CNN, talking about the hurricanes with Dana Bash. They're just continue doing whatever the Harris campaign is doing. I love it. You got $1 billion, folks. $1 billion. You haven't moved the freaking knee. In fact, you're losing. And if that doesn't make matters worse, you want to hear something? Here's the latest coming out of a Detroit news station, basically saying that, guess what? Michigan is slipping out of the figures. I don't think it was ever in the fingers of the Harris campaign, but folks, watch this and you tell me if you don't agree with me.
Your voice, your vote. There is now less than a month until Election Day, and the latest polling in our state shows signs of trouble for the Democrats. 13 on your side political reporter Josh Albertus shows us these latest numbers.
Things seem to be shifting here in the Rust Belt, where Vice President Kamala Harris had held slim leads in a lot of those polls following her entrance into the race at the top of the ticket. Now let's take a look at what this latest polling from Quinnipiac has to say. Here in Michigan, just last month, Quinnipiac had Harris up by 5 in Michigan. Now, less than a month later, this same pollster saying it's almost flipped. This time, Trump up by 3. Trump besting Harris when it comes to whom respondents felt would be best on issues like the economy, immigration, the conflict in the Middle East, and preserving U.S. democracy. Harris.
So, folks, I'm telling you right now, the fat lady has sung. She's singing. Put a fork in it. It's done. It's over. Without any stupid shenanigans, without any type of, fooling around with the votings and all that other stuff. This election, I'm telling you right now, it is the 10th of October, as far as I'm concerned, unless some absolutely catastrophic event or some unbelievable thing happens. As of now, the 10th of October, I'm telling you, this race is over. It's only going to get worse. The train wreck, car wreck, airplane wreck, shipwreck of a campaign for Kamala Harris. It is over. It is over, folks. In a month's time, I didn't believe the Quinnipiac where she was up by 5. That made no freaking sense whatsoever. And I don't know how they decide what they're doing what did they do? What did they change their methodology? Did they have like +9, +13 Dems? And now they decide to sample it much better, weighted accordingly to a recall vote of 2020 and weighted accordingly to what the actual demographic population, the way it's going to be voting. Even Rasmussen, folks, weights at +2 Democrat just to make sure, that they're not oversampling, Republicans. But yet you continue here on the left, Rasmussen, it's a far-right poll. So here it is. He's up by this, and in his internals, her internals are showing it. Slotkin is in a tie right now. The Senate. You talk about in Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin, she's sounding the alarm bells. And so if you have any idea, the Rust Belt, the most conservative is Wisconsin. The most liberal of it is Michigan, and Pennsylvania falls in between. So this Quinnipiac poll, that's showing that he's up in Wisconsin, up in Michigan, but he's down in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is going to vote to the left of Michigan? Folks, that doesn't even make sense. And then when you take a look at, let me just go back here and just show this thing here in terms of right here. Who's better to handle the issues? Well, these are the ones. Economy, he's up. On immigration, he's up. Preserving the democracy, he's up. How to handle the conflict in the Middle East, he's up. Commander-in-Chief, he's up. Christ that will put U.S. get grace, he's going to, these are all that are factors on positive for him with the voters. The only thing that she's winning on is abortion. Yet she might be double digits up on abortion. But this is what's happening here. And if this isn't enough to ring alarm bells, even CNN, folks, CNN, listen to what Dana Bash has to say and brings on a colleague to do her reporting, which she calls, talk to us about your great reporting. Watch this, folks.
CNN reporting today about what is going on behind the scenes inside the Harris campaign and more broadly among Democrats who are growing more and more anxious about a 2016 redux. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins me now. Priscilla, we were just joking here at the table that anxious Democrats happen on a day that ends in Y, but this is something that perhaps is warranted given the data that they're seeing. Explain your great reporting.
Yeah, look, that's exactly right, Dana. And this has been a campaign that was described by multiple Democrats, allies, aides. The vice president is a good vibes campaign, but what's also creeping in now is that anxiety. The reason for that is because these polls are not really moving. Despite multiple battleground blitzes, despite the opportunities she has had across media outlets, there is still not a lot of movement from voters who are moving more towards her versus former President Donald Trump. In fact, I had one source describe it to me this way, quote, people are nervous. They know the polls are tight, and a lot of us are having these flashbacks to 20.
So pretty much what I've already, said in my reportage, she's spending millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, raised $1 billion, gone on all these different talk shows, all leftist talk shows. Hasn't moved the needle. Advertising spending, negative ad blitzings, getting surrogates to go out there and lie for her. All this, Oprah Winfrey, the whole shebang, hasn't been. In fact, all those polls in the beginning, all those push polls, I mean, they were all a bunch of bullshit, folks. They were push polls to shape the sentiment. Oh, the honeymoon phase. And then you have James Carville. Okay, well, listen, he did, come down there, but, with the Barack Obama thing and whatever, that's what he's hanging his hat on. And I mean, he's had stuff where he said, it's not a problem. She's going to do everything well. These guys are just such unbelievable liars, fraudsters, hacks, hucksters. They're so full of bullshit. The verbal diarrhea that emanates from their mouth as they're bullshit pundits. And they're wrong so many times. So many times they were wrong. And even when they were sort of, what you want to quote, right, 2020, for example, it was because of all of the crap, you know what I'm talking about, that occurred. Not all the stuff happening was kosher, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. And James Carville, just before, was just singing, no problem. It's okay. She's doing fine. Just get out there. All of a sudden now, let's hear James Carville. I think James is singing a different song. He's singing a different tune. Listen to James Carville now.
Is the elections coming November 5th. And I'm scared to death, and I'll get a time to, obviously.
You're not in a reflective mood.
Not in a particular reflective mood right now. I'm very, very concerned and very
What does
scared.
Harris need to do with the month left?
All right, 7 months left. Let's start. We got 26 days.
Yep.
Today is gone. You're going to lose 4 to the hurricane. Just subtract that. We're going to get blank. You're not going to be able to get much out for the next 4 days. So, and everything kind of shuts down to Saturday before the election. So you're really probably under 20 days that you have to really get a message out. They need to be sharp. They need to be aggressive. They need to stop answering questions and start asking questions. They're doing all this and sitting down with 60 Minutes and sitting down with Colbert and sitting down with, no matter what, if I come on your show, you're going to ask me the question.
That's true.
If I have a press conference, I get to ask the question.
You'd like to see her do more press conferences?
I'd like her to put more things in play. Like
Where she's out
where
driving
she's
it.
out saying, what is J.D. Vance talking about that Trump saved Obamacare, tried to just destroy at every point? I would put President Obama out to make that. He's only got a 92% approval with Democrats. He only is the father of 23 million people having insurance. I would have President Clinton going on these local TV stations talking about how tariffs are going to destroy the economy of Wisconsin or Michigan or anywhere else. Because
Need I say any more, folks? Need I say any more? That's the face right there, folks, that you're going to see on election night. What happened? What happened? And as I said, as long as everything is kosher, as long as everything is by the book, no illegalities, no irregularities, no, closing down election centers for counting, no other kind of ballots coming from other places. As long as that doesn't happen, this race, as far as I'm concerned, unless some cataclysmic, god-awful event happens, this thing right now, it is Trump's race to lose. He is in the driver's seat. He is in the winner's seat. He is so far ahead right now. This is not even close. I told you before, my prediction still stands 345 to 193. Check out our other video links below to those videos and my daily update in terms of what's happening with the Electoral College. All right, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Take a look at our video links here, and I believe here. And remember, my final point has always been, when you're right, you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.